My name is Piotr from Emmanuel with Corazon Puro, coming to you from Missionary Formation Week Retreat. With me, I have Patricia from Corazon Puro. Welcome, Patricia.
Hi, thank you.
Patricia, is there anything you'd like to tell us about yourself?
So I'm born and raised in New Jersey. I'm currently the coordinator for Corazon Puro New Jersey. And so my role, I'm supposed to technically plan out the monthly meeting with the core team. So we make sure we have priest for mass, adoration, and for confessions as well. And we have like a guest speaker who comes in.
And monthly meetings, is this like a big event, or is this kind of just like to like meet and like talk about like, I don't know, bureaucratic things? Or
I would say it's like a big event.
Okay.
So we have it every month. And each topic's different. So it's touching on theology of the body.
Okay.
And then we also do have like fellowship where you can like meet young adult Catholics around the area.
Okay. And you're involved right now with the Missionary Formation Retreat that's happening right now, right?
Yes.
What is your role currently in it?
I'm currently serving in it, but I also just gave a workshop on Liturgy of the Hours.
Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. So Liturgy of the Hours is a prayer, a really old prayer that Catholics pray, and it's something that unites the church. For example, like if we are praying night prayer, someone on the other side of the country is probably praying office of readings or morning prayer. So it's just a continuous prayer that we do throughout the day.
Okay. And so how has the Missionary Formation Institute helped you follow Christ?
Good question.
Loaded question, I know.
It's definitely helped me to like love others on a deeper level. So like emptying yourself out. And just showing people Christ, who Christ is. And like learning how to love them.
Yeah. You said emptying yourself. What do you mean?
So just not thinking about yourself in a situation that you're in. Just being compassionate and empathetic towards the person and again where they're coming from in a certain situation.
Okay. So being kind of open to the person you're interacting with, right?
Yes.
And having that level of like empathy, right? And openness to see them for who they are and for what Christ has put them into this position, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. In what way do you think the Missionary Formation Institute will change your life, or maybe even has changed your life so far?
It definitely has changed. I participated in it before.
Okay. Do you want to speak on that? Like, how maybe did you participate or did you also like lead it?
2 years ago, I participated in it.
Do you mind speaking on that? Like, how was the experience of
that? We ate lots of rice and beans. So the whole point of eating rice and beans almost on a daily basis is just learning what's put in front of you. Because when you're going to certain countries, it's probably the only thing that they can afford, and it's probably the only thing that they have.
Okay.
So it's not like something where you can go to Chipotle around the area, and it's like, a lot of people are poor in the missions that we go to. So that's something I've learned is to eat whatever's placed in front of you. Just like learning, they're cultural as well. Okay. Yeah.
And you say that where do you guys usually go for the missions or like gear your missions towards?
Towards usually Central America.
Okay.
So Honduras is one of them, Costa Rica, Nicaragua. And then we'll do like other missions in like California. We've done a mission in Indiana.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. I never really kind of thought about the fact that, the body also has to adapt, right? To mission work, that it's not just the spirit and knowing yourself and knowing God fully or, as fully as we can. That it's also, you have to prepare yourself kind of like mentally and physically, right? Like that it's like almost like, I wouldn't say going to war, but it's kind of like you have to train yourself, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Never really kind of like thought about that. Yeah. And then you said that it has changed your life. Is that, what other ways has it changed your life?
Working with the poor. I think that's something I haven't really been exposed to.
Okay.
Like we'll usually go to like New York City and we'll do
Yeah.
like a Jesus run.
Yeah.
And so it's honestly just like speaking to the poor, and just like also just learning where they're coming from. Has kind of changed my view on the homeless. Because when we do see them, we think that, you know, they're drug addicts.
Yeah. That's what we've been like kind of taught, right? Yeah.
And, you know, usually like, oh, don't talk to them. Like they're just asking for money to get, you know, drugs or other things. So I think it's definitely helped me to look at the poor in a different
light.
Yeah, different light.
In what difference, if you don't mind me like asking, like seeing them as what?
I think just knowing that they have dignity.
Okay.
Yeah, because, you know, we see a homeless and yes, we'll give them $1, but we don't even like stop to like talk to them.
Yeah.
And like look at them in the eyes. Because I feel like, I don't know, you can kind of read the person's soul. And
you can like give them that judgment before you even like know them. Yeah. If funny enough, the interview with Brother Samuel, he mentioned Matthew 25, and it was something that like what you said kind of reminded me, where it was like, when Judgment Day comes and we will be separated, right? Jesus will ask, you know, he'll tell us like, I was hungry, you fed me. I was naked and you clothed me. You know, I was in prison and you visited me. And it is that moment, right, where we kind of forget what the world has taught us about these people and these people who are misfortunate, and we start looking at them through the eyes of Christ, right? With that love and that need, you know. That's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, going into that, what are you passionate about in life? And maybe even, I guess the second question would be in spirituality.
Definitely serving.
Okay.
I feel like I've been serving a lot, even before coming to Corazon Puro.
Okay.
I've done a lot of community service.
Okay.
So working at a campus kitchen, and just basically making food for the poor, or women who are in shelters, or men, or for veterans as well. And so I think just serving.
And was this like with the Catholic organization, or was this just in general, like going out and helping?
This was at my college, at my university that I went to. Yeah.
Okay. And have you always been involved in like Catholic organizations, or did you grow up Catholic?
I grew up Catholic, but I wouldn't necessarily say like practicing like other Catholics. I kind of had a reconversion in my faith. Yeah. In college.
Yeah. Funny you mentioned that. I always say on the podcast, I've said it before, where I feel as though Catholics have two baptisms. One, when you were born and you make that covenant, but second is when you yourself have said, you know what, I will go into this covenant with you, Lord, and I will follow the rules, and I will, you know, be in this unity with you. And so that's kind of what you mentioned, right, in college. So what in college made you, I guess, come back and convert back into Catholicism?
So it was my former campus minister. She was the one that kind of brought me back into the faith. I remember we would have these like weekly meetings, and the first meeting that I had with her was about death. And the question that she asked was, "Where do you want to go when you die?"
Yeah.
And
loaded question.
Yeah, and I said heaven.
Yeah.
And I think everyone wants to go to heaven.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where
where that thought process like started, kind of thing, like how do we get there, kind of.
Yes.
Very good. Yeah, because that's I feel like the biggest kind of like hot take, but I guess like the biggest lie that we are taught as like a community, not a Catholic community, but like as a people, is like, oh, all good people go to heaven. Yeah. And it's like, that's not what Jesus said. That's not at all what Jesus said. Jesus said, I am the way, only through me, you know. Yeah. And so that's where the divide kind of happens, right? That's where like the questioning, like, I want to go to heaven. How do I get there?
Exactly.
What's the map, right? Like what are the directions, you know? Like, that's a good question. That's like a good question to get people kind of starting to think. And I feel like it's a question that divides people,
Mm-hmm.
right? That it's like if you are in that space where I'm looking, it'll push you. Like it pushed you,
Yeah.
right? But then if it doesn't, right? If you're just like, yeah, I want to go to heaven, and it's like, okay, cool, let's keep moving, right? Maybe this isn't for you yet.
Yeah.
So that's a good question to ask. Another thing, I guess, going off of that lady, right, that helped you. How do you promote spiritual growth within, I guess, your Corazon Puro or even in this retreat?
Honestly, I think just mentoring, like the younger servers, just starting out with Corazon Puro, just guiding them in whatever discernment process that they're dealing with at the moment, and and just sharing them like my past experience, just so they can relate, in whatever situation we're talking about.
So like mentoring, right?
Yes,
like that's like where you find the most like spiritual growth in. Yeah. Nice. And then I guess the question would be, how do you measure, I guess, their spiritual growth and your own spiritual growth, like within your own personal life? So 2 questions.
Honestly, I try not to measure.
Okay. Why? If you don't mind me asking.
Because I just feel like we're each at a different spiritual growth or path.
Yeah.
Because I honestly don't think of myself highly, even though I've been serving with Corazon Puro for like 4 years. Like I would never want to think I'm like higher than anyone else within like my spiritual growth, because I'm struggling as well. And we're all struggling.
Absolutely.
And so it's just a process.
Yeah. And then how do you measure, I guess, those people that you are mentoring? How do you measure their spiritual growth?
Usually when they're asking me like a tough question, or if they want to grow in their spirituality, I will honestly say I'm probably not the right person at the moment to answer this, but I will like share with them, like, maybe look into like a spiritual director who can help you reach whatever discernment you're trying to go into or decide on. So I think getting a professional in spirituality is, I think
it's like good. It's important to know limitations. That's good, but I also think you definitely bring a lot to the table, and I feel like you should, like, you know what I mean? But like, you're right, definitely, like, spiritual directors are important, they're needed. And with this question, spiritual development measuring, I feel like it's hard to kind of be like a box around it. I think it's so much more fluid, because it's as our religion is, or our faith is, it is individualized, right? So it's like, just because, you know, one person can start speaking in tongues doesn't mean that they're much more spiritually developed than another person, right? It's all up to the individual, and the Father loves us individually, right? So I want to circle back to the Missionary Formation Institute. How has the Missionary Formation Institute helped you in your faith and your belief?
Good question.
Is there maybe like a key moment that you can think of that was like, you know what, like, this is like, you know what I mean?
Trying to think.
Like the rice and beans story.
Rice and beans. A key moment. I might have to get back to you.
We can go back to that. No worries. But that has it helped you in your faith and belief? Let's start with that. Yes, it has. In what way?
It definitely has tested me in certain ways. For me, I don't necessarily like praying like, I guess, out loud. Yeah. There are a couple of people who are more like charismatic. I'm not, and I think that which isn't anything bad. I know that has definitely like tested me. Okay. But then when I am put to the test, and I do say a prayer, I feel like that prayer was needed for the person in front of me. Yeah. So I think, it has.
That's what it's been like.
Yeah, for
very
sure.
Good. And then, why have you chosen to follow Christ through the mission? Like,
with
The Mission Institute the Formation Institute.
Oh, I think it's just to bring others closer to Christ.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess again, sharing with them like my experience and how God has basically, how God has led me to this place here at Missionary,
Yeah.
Missionary Week, and he has the power to change people.
Yeah.
Whether you're broken, he can heal you and make you whole again, and in order to like serve others.
Yeah.
So I think that's...
Understood. All right. With the final question, right? Why is it difficult to have faith in God, or perhaps to remain faithful to God?
I feel like there's temptation.
Okay.
Everywhere we go, and I think that's something that we're either trying to heal from something.
Okay.
Whether that's drinking or being addicted to like porn.
Yeah.
And I think society doesn't really make it easy because it's all out there and people have a lot of access to it.
Yeah.
I think that's what's kind of hard at times when it's like placed in front of you. And
so you're saying that temptation is like the biggest kind of like barrier between, or why people like have struggled to keep faith with God?
I think so.
Temptation at the end of the day. Yeah. I would have to agree with that. I think temptation, especially like you said, in this world that is like an instant gratification, right? Where it's like, man, you could even order beer on like DoorDash or something, right? Like it's so easy to give into it that it has become more than ever harder to like resist it and like give away yourself to God, right? With that, is there any other final ideas, thoughts, anything you would like to bestow upon our viewers?
Well, whoever's watching this, I just wanted to let you know that I'm praying for you. And if you're not a believer, I'm praying for you. If you are, I'm praying for you as well. Because at some point, we're all trying to get to heaven, and
Amen.